Hello and welcome back to the Level Cap Podcast, your podcast for everything Level 99 games related or otherwise. I am your host, Marco De Santos, also known as the Mechanic Critic, and with me is the ever amazing Brad Talton Jr., president of Level 99 Games.
I'm not sure I'm totally on board with your pitch. It's everything level 99 and otherwise. Isn't that just everything? So it's just a podcast about everything? I don't know if that's focused enough for our listeners. I don't think they come here for everything. I'm just a little worried about it. It seems like kind of a loose cannon sort of thing.
Yeah, well, we're renegade here at Level Cap Podcast. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, well, maybe not everything otherwise. Maybe otherwise that stuff that may be related to Level 99.
Maybe it's 50-50. There's 50 Level 99 games, 50% otherwise. But it does kind of include everything. We're not going to limit ourselves, but we do have a slight focus.
Yeah.
Just slightly. We're only a little bit about Level 99 games.
Yeah, you know that thing in your essays when you're in college, it's write an essay about X. It's if you can somehow manage to convince your professor that you talking about soccer is the same thing as you talking about, I don't know, football in some other place, just because the word football is used replaceably with soccer in some countries. It's kind of like that, it's kind of related, but it's not. Usually, sometimes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, whatever. I mean, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be about Level 99 games stuff at the very least. We have a very awesome docket for all of you guys tonight. If you guys want to learn about our new characters of the week, stuff Brad and I have been playing, some news about Level 99 games, and of course we're going to answer some of your questions that you guys have sent us or that you've provided to us via various means. You guys should stay tuned for this show. So let's start it off with some catching up. What's up, Brad? How are you?
I'm good. It's been a long winter vacation. I've been back to North Carolina and back home to New Mexico again, and got to spend some time with the family, the in-laws. It was a good trip.
Oh, really? That sounds very fun, visiting your family.
Yeah, do you do anything for the holidays over there, Margo?
It's the opposite. I have relatives from the U.S. who came here, and we, hosted them and stuff. Yeah, they're from,
okay. Are you below the equator down there?
We're very, very near the equator down here, yeah.
Okay, so you don't really have seasons so much, I suppose.
We only have 2 seasons. We have deathly hot or typhoons. That's it. There's nothing else.
Cool. And where'd you say your family was from?
I think they were from Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, that's really close to me, yeah.
Yeah, when they found out that, I usually play games by this guy who's from New Mexico, they're hey, that's pretty close to where we live. And I'm like, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, when you come to visit them, you can drive down and we can hang out.
Yeah, and I guess do a podcast that's live next to each other, which the listeners wouldn't probably realize.
Probably not. Yeah, we can do some designing or something. But yeah, let's go on. Let's get to the games we played.
Juicy bits.
Yeah.
So
segments.
So this week I've been playing a lot of Duelist. Of Duelist. Yeah, I recently got back into Duelist after they released their new Rise of the Bloodborne set. And
Rise of the Bloodborne, that sounds familiar.
Yeah. Ooh. And the thing is, what really makes me enamored by this new set is less about the cards and the new mechanics and more about their distribution model with it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm not gonna pander on too long about this, but the way they sold old sets was basically Hearthstone, right? You get 100 gold, you pay for it, you get a card pack that has 5 cards, one of them's rare or above in quality at least. So that's how their old sets were done. But this new set, they chose a very different direction with it, because the packs cost 3 times the original sets. So it costs 300 per pack, right?
Mm-hmm.
But instead, what they do is they give you 3 cards, 3 of each card.
Okay.
So in a sense, you're buying triplets of 3 random cards. So that means that
Okay.
the moment you have one copy of a card, you have all the copies of that card you can ever put into your deck. It's like you have this one card you really like, you get it. All 3 copies of it. If you get a rare legendary card or something, you get 3 of it. So it's like a really good deal. And what makes it even more interesting is that you can't craft any of the cards in the set, and you can't get duplicates from the packs. Which means that
Okay.
which means if you buy a certain number, you will get all the cards, guaranteed.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Is if you get a duplicate, do you have like 3 useless cards now? But that's an interesting way to do it. So the cards come out randomly, but you get them all eventually. That's an interesting way to do booster packs.
Yeah, I feel like it's very interesting, and especially since we were talking about Pixel Tactics Online last week, last podcast. It's very interesting to talk about these kinds of distribution models, right? Because for card games, like you're somebody who sells card games and stuff. I mean, you're not selling collectible card games, but it's a very interesting model in my perspective. As a designer, what do you think about that kind of model?
I think that it's part of the game, is the way you choose to distribute the game, and so you have to kind of think about what experience it provides to the players. And the CCG experience, of opening a random booster pack and getting something exciting is part of the magic of the genre, and it's part of it's really part of the gameplay. That solo game that you play when you're opening packs and you're sorting your collection and you're getting new cards and you're deck building, all those things are part of the game. And sitting at the table and playing it is only, a smaller portion. It's larger in games like Hearthstone, where the deck building is so streamlined. But in a game like Magic, you might spend as much time playing solo as you do playing, with the opponents at the table. So I think that it's, I don't know. I think that it's something that we can only do with computers, and that now that we have the ability to explore all these new models for distribution, there will be more interesting things that come out in the future.
Yeah, so I really like that you pointed out that it really depends on the kind of game you're essentially selling the packs for, right? So the pack experience is really tied into the way the game works. So do you think the opposite is true? Like, can the way you distribute packs affect the way you design the game?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, take a game like Risk Legacy or Seafall. Those are games that have packs. They're not randomized, but part of the experience of the game is opening this pack and discovering new content and integrating that new content into your game. So I think that's it's something that people are exploring more in a non-collectible way too.
Yeah, I think that's very, very interesting. So what have you been playing, like, recently?
Well, we continued our Seafall campaign. Recently, I played a game called SteamWorld Dig.
Oh, I love that game.
It was really good. It was only about 3 hours long, but I really enjoyed it. I got to get through the game and finish it. It gave me kind of this full game experience, even though it was only a few hours long. So it felt like a full featured game, and it was just right. It had just enough twists and turns, just enough stuff that new content was constantly coming out. And so I think it was probably the best paced game I've played in a long time. There was no filler, there was no extra stuff, no extraneous things to do. It was all very specific to the task at hand. So that was very well paced, very well balanced, and a lot of fun, and very pleasing aesthetic too.
Yeah. You mentioned something about pace, and I really think that's very important for informing your gameplay choices, or at least your game choices, because a lot of people oftentimes go with the entire, $1 for every hour of gameplay or something like that, right? And sometimes they don't realize that sometimes a shorter, more compact experience can be a better experience than, your typical Assassin's Creed game that makes you do 30 of the same mission or something like that.
Yeah, and I don't think any game will give you the economy of something like League of Legends, which you could play for free forever for for no money at all, and people sink months and years into that game.
Yeah,
so I think at some point you have to think about the quality of your entertainment that you're getting in. Are you enjoying this? Are you getting a new experience? Are you and how many people are enjoying it with you too? Especially that's true for a board game. So if you buy a board game and it's like $60. Like a video game that's $60 is probably going to be a 20 to like 100-hour video game, somewhere in that range. A board game for $60, $80 is going to be probably 2 hours, 3 hours, but you play it with 5 people, and so you're kind of multiplying your entertainment value by 5, and hopefully you play it, more than just once, so you can get some repeated use out of it. But yeah, you kind of think a little bit about what's the economy of entertainment going into these projects too. And so when I'm developing, I try and build something that, price-wise, how many hours of entertainment are people going to get out of this? Hopefully it's a pretty good economy, even if they only play it a few times.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that totally reflects in most of the games that you've put out. I mean, like, BattleCon obviously has basically nearly infinite replayability. Like, for a guy who supposedly makes guides for BattleCon, I haven't actually played every single matchup in existence, because that predicates that I have played over 3,000 games, which is impossible.
Yeah, I think that'd take probably, and now if you throw in the variants, I think it's more time than you have in your whole life to play every possible BattleCon game.
So I really love that. I mean, like, I'm a huge fan of Millennium Blades too, especially because of the replayability and how awesome the variance is. That game will be impossible to do every combination of. I'm almost sure. My grandkids would be dead by that point.
Well, it's been fun. We just finished up picking out all the different variants, like the preset stores, and we're going to be posting those with our online storekeeper app, or our scorekeeper app, for Millennium Blade. So you'll be able to get some pre-made stores that are our favorites from among the millions of combinations that exist.
Ooh, I guess people would really want to link to that, so we'll probably link that somewhere, right?
Yeah, we'll probably have that up in the next day or so on the website.
All right, that's awesome. Okay, so let's move on to our character of this week. And our character of this week is a character that not a lot of people knew underwent a lot of changes, and it's Magdelina Larrington. Is that how you pronounce her name?
Yeah, Magdelina Larrington. Well, she's a character that kind of existed from the very beginning of BattleCon, and a character that has been through quite a lot of changes. So the idea of Magdelina was that she was a character that would level up and get stronger and stronger over gameplay. Sort of the builder type of character, or the I don't know if there's exact fighting game analog, but I think that's nice because you can. I guess there is with
Frank West.
Frank West. Okay, that was I was gonna say like Naoto from Persona 4 Arena.
Yeah, levels up,
but she's not exactly. She kind of just like builds up to a single death blow. So I guess it's more like Demetrius.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, Frank West levels up literally. He literally levels up.
Okay, cool. Well, then there's your analog. But it's neat to explore some of these mechanics that are more typical in an RPG or a board game than they are in a video game. So that was kind of the inspiration behind Magdelina. She's not my favorite to play. I don't like the builder type characters as much, but not every character on BattleCon's not my favorite. I tried to put in a couple that were going to be, for different kinds of players, and so there are players that love Magdelina, and I think that we hit the nail on the head with that.
Really, I really like Magdelina as a character. We played her a lot back when she was quote unquote still weak back in Original War. Because I'm a firm believer that current Magdelina post-remake is way better than the old one. But yeah, I had a friend who really liked playing her because he felt like, he could be bad at the start and then suddenly just become really, really strong by the end. To the point wherein how bad he was as a player, it really didn't matter because the stats made up for it or something along those lines.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to do this big comeback at the end, and I think that's what the players who play the character really enjoy. But she was designed lore-wise as the primary character from Jeffries, so she's the first character we meet from that country.
Oh, she is.
Yeah, she's the first character we meet from that country, and she kind of embodies the religious / military history of that nation and those people. She's a priestess, a battle priestess, and she's trained for war and for for religious rites. And the way that she fights is she casts this censer and inhales this smoke, and it puts her into a trance. And through that trance, she channels ancient heroes from another era. To possess her and summon ghostly weapons and fight at her side. And so what you see is as she gains levels, she's actually you're playing less and less Magdelina and more of Venlia, this ancient spirit guide from the Centennial War.
It's one of the four
and that's
heroes,
why she
right?
gets stronger. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so one of the four heroes that slew Rexen in the first war, and so that's why she levels up. That's what that mechanic actually brings you lore wise, is the idea that she's becoming, she's becoming less herself and more this ancient heroine.
Oh, which is why on the cards, when she's level 1, the focus of the picture on the card is her, and when she's at level 5, she's barely in the shot anymore. It's just the spirit thing.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Let's talk about something that a lot of people don't know. I remember you talking to me before how you don't understand why people have a lot of gripes when it comes to Arik, which is a character that, if you guys don't know who Arik is, he's basically this snotty brat who's annoying. And you told me that...
Are we talking lore-wise gripes, or are we talking,
Lore-wise, because a lot of people are actually really frustrated by the fact that Arik's this bratty, rich snob kid who just coasts through life because his dad's rich and powerful, right? Because that's essentially his lore, right?
That's essentially his backstory. He's kind of a wastrel, a character that is not interested in doing anything that causes too much work or too much effort on his part.
Yeah, so and a lot of people were saying that this is a frustrating character, or that this isn't really something that you want to play as, because usually when you're playing a BattleCon character, you're immersing yourself in the fantasy of that character, right? I want to play a powerful mage or something like that, but then suddenly it's like people are like, why would I ever want to play snotty nose brat or something like that? But then you told me something along the lines of like, you don't understand why Arik gets all this hate when Magdalena's much of a more annoying character, at least for you. At least I remember you saying that.
Certainly gameplay wise, I would say that Magdelina is a little more annoying. I think I understand lore wise with Arik, but there's a point to that, and it's that the characters grow over multiple stories, and so over multiple series of the games, and so you have to give a character a little room to grow. If they start out as a cool heroic badass in game 1, then there's not much to do left in game 2. And so Magdelina is actually a little bit like that, because she starts out as this very devout, religious, and young, and a bit naive battle priestess, and she goes on this crusade down to the southern lands, to the wastelands, to fight the Overlord Rexen again. And she comes out of that battle not having, with a crisis of faith. And Rexen tells her, all this hatred you have is something you've inherited from the spirit that you're channeling. It's not yours. And and I'm not really the bad guy here, and she decides to listen to that and see where that takes her, and she ends up studying under Hepzibah, Rexen's court magician, and she becomes able to control a bunch of different spirits, and so that leads her to become the Twilight Magdelina boss that you see in Devastation. Just a few years later. So you can see kind of the way the character changes over multiple storylines, and that's one of the nice things that we can do with these characters.
Yeah, so, well, there you go. There's some Magdelina lore, and some maybe justification for Arik being a snot-nosed brat. Maybe he ends up being Merlin, like the Merlin of Indians.
Maybe something like that. We'll get into his story more in the next, in the next arc, if you will.
Arik confirmed boss. Anyway, so if you're gonna play,
don't throw things like that in.
Sure. if you're gonna play some Magdelina, here's some easy tips for you guys. Magdelina's not really that strong in the early game. You're a very defensive fighter, but as Brad said, as the spirits start taking over you, you start getting more and more firepower. I think the biggest turning point for Magdelina is that you have to realize that you don't have to be level 4 or level 5 in order to start fighting back. Like, don't turtle the entire game and hope to win in the last 3 beats. It doesn't work like that. The new Magdelina's stats easily make it easy for her to start fighting back as early as level 2 and 3. In fact, if you're at level 2, stuff like force special action plus a base is really deadly, actually. Like, the force special action has given Magdelina essentially a style that's
good
blank, right? And it's so good because she gets like a style that's like +2 power, +2 priority, stun guard 2 with no downside. It's like insane. So yeah, in that sense, Magdalena can easily start fighting back at level 2, and that is
Yeah.
my biggest tip for all of you guys who are playing Magdalena. How about you, Bragg? What's your biggest tip for playing Magdalena?
I would say don't be afraid to use the spiritual style, the one that does a big burst but causes you to lose some of your trance. It's more important to know when to get a hit on the opponent than to just try to ensure you get level 4. So plan to land around level 2, 3. And if you have an advantage, stay there for a while with your spiritual and tools like that. Things that will cash in on your damage early.
Yeah, I agree with that. So there you guys go. If you guys like this character of the week, do tell us how awesome you think Magdalena is. And of course, if you guys have any suggestions for who do you want to be the next character of the week, tell us somewhere. Send us
Twitter.
stuff on social media.
Send
Twitter.
us a tweet.
Yeah, send us a tweet like, I want to hear more about Joel and how cute he is. I don't know. So if you guys want Joel to be the character of the week or something along those lines, do tell us over Twitter.
I think you've got some Joel bias.
Of course, I mained him. I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
we'll do Lixus next time, I guess. But
well, you can't decide that. It defeats the entire purpose of the exercise. People have to get us on Twitter. But if you don't get us on Twitter, it'll be Elixis. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, isn't Lixus your favorite character or something?
Elixis was one of my favorite lore-wise, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that's it for our character of the week. Let's move on to some news 99. Well, rather, no. Do you want to start with 99 questions? Yeah, let's start with 99.
I'm fine with whatever. Yeah,
okay,
go for it.
So let's go to some 99 questions instead. Haha, double back over there. Let's ask some questions that you guys want some answers to. Here's an easy stuff. Can you tell us more about some Devastation remaster? There'd be some talks about it, but can you divulge any information about it right now?
Well, I can say that it's not going to happen for a little while. We still have plenty of copies of Devastation in stock. But when they run out, we will probably not reprint Devastation. We'll probably move to Devastation Remastered Edition. I imagine it'll be around the time that Wanderers is coming out, because that's
a while.
so later this year, or near the end of this year is more likely that we'll see. It'll have some rebalances. We're gonna update Marmalie and Voko and Eric and Octavia just to get them in line with a little bit of balance, and
Caitlin?
we may do some other. Caitlin as well. We may do some other balance tweaks to get everybody onto the force gauge system. And then that will kind of become the standard in Devastation. We had planned to break it up into 3 different boxes, and make it the same size as the Trials, Wanderers, and Fate boxes, but I don't know. I think maybe we'll keep it together because people seem to really... Devastation has always been the favorite of the BattleCon games, and so maybe it's a good idea to have that big box.
All right. How about this one? Whoa, we need more Indians in depth, please.
So I finally set up our new site, our new blog, and I will be putting together more Indians in depth in the weeks to come. I'm going to start by re-releasing the old ones that we had on the previous site, and then the rest should be along pretty shortly. So we should start seeing new ones in the next few weeks.
All right, that's awesome. I can't wait to hear some stuff about, other characters that I really like Berman or Seth or, so on and so forth.
Oh, maybe I'll supplement these podcasts with the characters that we talk about on the podcast. You could go and get some extended backstory after you listen to the podcast.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Okay, and our last 99 question, which is not actually 99 questions, is, now that some preseason has happened with the league, what are your thoughts on league events, and has this league system been very fruitful for you?
We have enjoyed it quite a bit. We've really enjoyed working with you guys and giving you guys the all this cool stuff. It's been pretty successful. The volume was reasonable for us to continue to handle directly. And we're not too concerned about the shipping cost. That was our main thing. If 10,000 people do it, then we're gonna have trouble shipping all these rewards. We had a reasonable number this time.
Okay.
But if we may have to temper things a little bit. And there's been some talk about having 3 different leagues because we're doing Pixel Tactics now. So BattleCon, Pixel Tactics, and Exceed. it's difficult for players to follow all three of those. So we're doing some internal talks about how we're gonna handle the season 1, and we're gonna probably have season 1 posted up in the next week or two. So we will have more League play for you very soon.
That's awesome.
But yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I like some of the prizes that you guys can get for playing a lot. I mean, I want that playmat, but I know I'm never gonna get enough time to play all those games to earn the playmat. I mean,
yeah. Well, a lot of folks are playing online or via Discord, and so that's a thing that's available. But we really want to see people get out and play, tabletop wise. So
yeah.
That said, I'm not sure that it matters too much how you play, as long as that you do play and have fun.
Okay.
So well, that's what we really want. Is we want you to have fun most of all.
All right. I mean, it is a game after all, right? If you're not having fun, what's the point? And
exactly.
That pretty much does it for our 99 questions, which aren't 99 questions. Let's go on to some news. News 99.
In 33 podcasts, we'll reach 99 questions.
I mean, yeah, so on the 33rd one, you can finally say that it's 99 questions. And then after that, it's a lie again because we're past 99 at that point.
We'll reset the counter. It'll be true again at some point.
Okay, that's true. So let's go on over some news 99. Do you have any very interesting announcements for us this podcast?
So the latest big news is that Millennium Blades will be making port very soon.
Yes.
We are planning to... The games are supposed to land on the 25th of January, which means that they will probably be unloaded and in our hands by the 1st of February. Which means that they'll probably be in your hands, if you're in America, by the 7th or 8th of February, and in the rest of the world by around the 20th of February. So everything should reach everybody by the end of February, and that's what we're shooting for with the new Millennium Blades. And that includes the reprint, set rotation, and all 5 of the mini expansions, the art book, and the special edition playmat. So we got quite a lot of cool Millennium Blade stuff coming out too.
Yes, that's awesome. I love Millennium Blades so much. I'm so sorry. Like, I love gushing about Millennium Blades. I played Yu-Gi-Oh! When I was a kid, okay? So it's like, you scratch that itch. Any other news for us? BattleCon online updates or something like that?
BattleCon Online is, we are currently in the process of rebuilding our server engine for strategic mode. That is supposed to be done around the end of this week. So we're going to have full strategic mode, which means it will be exactly like you played on the tabletop. So yeah, we went back and forth about it a lot internally, and we decided, we'll just do turbo whenever we do, like for another game, and we'll optimize for the web. We'll optimize the video game version of BattleCon some other time. For now, we want to make the actual tabletop adaptation, and so we're going to keep as close to the original card game as we can, and that means putting in strategic mode. So we had to do a couple big server revisions, and then the Christmas break delayed us, but we should be finished up with the service again end of this week. We should be getting back to a beta pretty soon. That's my hope.
I'm sure a lot of people are going to be happy to hear that strategic mode is going to be in the game. So yeah, there's that.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy for it. I think it's going to be, people will see exactly what they wanted, and they can, strategize for tournaments and stuff and practice. And I think that's something that a lot of people are excited about, is the ability to practice online for the tournaments that come up.
Me too, man. I really want to learn Seraphina. I mean, I don't think Seraphina's into the first 10 characters, is she?
Not currently. She will be eventually.
Yeah, so, I mean, I've been meaning to practice a lot of Seraphina, but, committing myself to a Vassal, TTS, or Bacon Sheets game is just, I can't have a BattleCon game peering through my mind as I wait for you to reply, because it's gonna eat up 4 hours of my time.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's, and I'm not one for, play by mail or play by post very much either. Some people really love it, and I understand the appeal of playing a game slowly throughout an entire day. It's not my preferred way to play though, and I think a lot of people will really appreciate the video game version that lets them play a game in 15-20 minutes.
Yeah, 15-20 minutes sounds amazing. Oh. So no other news?
Pixel Tactics Online is coming along well. We're hoping to have the true alpha by the end of this month. So if you're a playtester for Pixel Tactics Online, look for that. And then if alpha goes well, then we'll be doing beta at the end of February. And so everyone will be able to get in on the beta and try that out. So look forward to Pixel Tactics Online as well.
Oh, and just in case you guys don't know, if you guys aren't a playtester for Pixel Tactics, you can easily become one by just signing up for our playtest forums.
Yeah, and we're going to be revamping our playtest forums in the next few days. So what I would rather say to everyone is join us on Discord. And the playtest forums will be back, if you're listening to this episode, probably a few weeks after it comes out.
Oh, really? Wow.
So if you get this immediately, go to Discord and find us there. But if you're on, if you get it later, then look for our playtest forums.
Okay, we'll link you guys to the Discord somewhere on this page, and it's gonna be easy to access. Don't worry, we're nice people. We won't bite, I hope.
It's all pretty straightforward. We just want, anybody that wants to help us out, we're glad to have your help on playtesting.
Yeah, I've repeatedly broken the PTO server, like, every time I play.
Well, Cameron's doing a really good job of maintaining that. I've been really impressed working with him. He's on it, man.
Yeah, because every time I break it, he fixes it like 5 minutes after, so it's great.
Yeah. Well, you guys are in the same time zone too, or similar time zone.
Yeah,
he's down in Australia.
Because he's in Australia, right? So when I found that out, I was like, why is this guy on whenever I'm on? It's like nobody's on when I'm on.
See, you're like the ideal playtester.
All right, so that pretty much does it for our News 99. Thank you so much, Brad, for all this awesome news that you've given us. I am personally really happy about the BCO updates and the PTO updates. Everything's O right now.
Yep. We're moving on. Soon it'll be. Well, I don't know what comes next, but something will come next, and I'll let you know about that when it happens.
MBO.
I've written a spec. We'll see.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh, that's enough divulging top secret information. And that pretty much does it for our Level Cap podcast for you guys this week. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Of course, your host has been me, Marco De Santos, also known as the Mechanic Critic. And of course, with me is always the amazing Brad Talton Jr., president of Level 99 Games.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and if you guys want to catch us again next week, I hope you guys are all there, and we hope to see you guys again next time. Bye!
Bye-bye.